Who caused the marriage to fail? We're going to talk about children. And most individuals may not look at children as causing marital difficulties, strife within that marriage. When couples get married, they are looking for a long-lasting relationship, a bond. And when they have children, those children represent an extension of happiness, peace, the joy, love that we get when we have children. But in many marriages, they often struggle immensely from the different parenting styles that can occur. And this causes a lot of problems. Just as many problems as two couples or a couple can deal with. The Bible tells us how we need to raise our children. In the book of Ephesians, Paul mentions that fathers don't need to irritate or exasperate their children. Train them up in the Lord. And based upon our life experiences as fathers, we don't always do the right things. We don't always raise our kids the way that God has designed. We want to exert force. We have a my way or highway mentality. We want to raise them to be the man that we see they should be versus what God has structured fathers in Him to raise their children, their sons, their daughters, and how mothers need to be nurturing and loving, caring, showing that compassion to their children. And when this relationship is not aligned with Christ, the problems are intensified. And from the circumstances, couples can get divorced. Couples can separate. God wants a marriage to stay holy, pure, letting no one separate this bond. From a world's perspective, when they vision marriage, or their thoughts about marriage, or their definition about marriage, it is more about themselves. They don't think in relation that God established the real marriage, not the world's marriage. We see the catastrophic failures. We see the divorces. We see the abuse, physical, verbal, mental. And children within themselves, they don't cause a marriage to fail. It is the marriage. That marriage must be unified. That marriage must have God as the foundation. That marriage must be anchored in the gospel. And all else will flow properly into raising children in a godly home. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see when we don't live for Jesus, we run into these types of issues. And it creates voids from sin. Unhappy marriages, unhappy people. It is time to get the right foundation. It is time to seek Christ for everlasting life. It is time to get your house in order. When we don't allow Christ to navigate in our lives, we're going to fail not getting to heaven. We're going to fail our children. There are people that believe if they just get a divorce, for whatever those reasons are, everything's going to be all better. And people find out that it's more grief, long lasting, when they do get a divorce. And they look back and they say, I didn't realize that this was going to be this hard. I didn't realize I was going to feel this way. I didn't realize my children have been greatly impacted from a divorce, from a separation. All because two people didn't bond properly. They didn't make God as their anchor. And they drifted and drifted and drifted to a point that couldn't rejoin. God is waiting on you. He's giving you this chance to find the path of salvation. Are you ready? Come now, while you have the opportunity to save your soul, while you have the opportunity to be an example of the Lord for your children.